Hello there, Andrew Griffiths here, coming to you from Bali. We're actually in Sanur at a beautiful resort at an author retreat. I'm with my very good friend Kian McLaughlin. How you doing, mate?
I'm very well, how are you?
Very well, thank you, mate, very well. Kian's the author of a sensational book called Rebirth of the Salesman. Kian is one of the best sales trainers, best sales advisors on the planet, and I don't say that lightly, and I'm not just talking him up. The people that he works with, the stuff you've done is extraordinarily impressive.
Thanks, mate.
And it's a real privilege for us to have a retreat here with you, sharing your knowledge and your wisdom as well. So, tell us what you do.
So I run a sales consulting and advisory company, and basically what that means is I work with organizations, mostly technology and telecommunication companies, and I do something really, really simple. I help them better understand why they win and lose the big deals they pitch for.
Right.
So we go in at the end of the sales cycle and we sit down with their customers and we break the sales cycle into its parts, and we ask them questions, and we find out a little bit, and we take those learnings, feed them back into the company and say, what do we do well? Where's there some room for improvement? Is it our people? Is it our price? Is it our competition? Etc., etc. So we really allow them to extract value from any deal, win, lose, or draw.
It's kind of funny though, isn't it? Because we always imagine, I imagine, and I'm a small business kind of guy, I've done a lot of corporate work, but we always imagine that the corporates have got it all together. Yeah. Surely every part of their process is schmick, there's no gaps. Like what are we going to teach them, going in there? I mean, is that not what it's like?
That couldn't be further from the truth. I think big business has certain advantages in terms of size and scale and reach and that sort of thing, but they can be huge disadvantages as well. It's harder to be agile, it's harder to innovate, it's harder to be responsive, and so what's really interesting now is that it's less about being worried about your nearest competitor and more about being worried about the two people sitting in a garage somewhere who are going to disrupt your entire industry.
Invent the app that changes everything type of thing.
That makes you irrelevant, and so there's a lot of conflicting forces at play at the moment that are reshaping the landscape of the professional technology world, the telecommunications world.
And also, I guess the other reality is it's getting more competitive. It's getting, whether in a corporate space or wherever, if people are more informed, more aware.
Absolutely.
We're not as quick to give our dough away. Whether it's a $50 million contract, $100 million contract, or whether it's a $2.99 app even, we're selective on that.
Correct.
So Rebirth of the Salesman.
Yes.
I mean, tell us about this book. Why did you write this book?
Well, so I actually set out to write one book and then got halfway through and ended up writing a different book. I set out to write a book about the process that we go through when we analyze wins and losses. But actually, midway through, I realized what was more interesting was, why are customers making the decisions they're making? What's really driving them to make those decisions? And what does that mean for the sales professionals around the world in terms of how do they stay relevant, how do they stay connected, and how do they add value? Because the things that used to work 5, 10, 15 years ago are gone. So I was trying to create a new template for salespeople to say, how do we stay relevant for the next 10 years?
And what kind of response have you had? Are people receptive to this, or is it a bit of the way we've always done it?
No, they're incredibly receptive, because I think
they know they've got to change, right?
Timing is everything, I suppose, in life and in business, and the timing of this book coincided with this massive disruption and shift that's happening within a lot of my customers, where they just need help, they just need an idea, they just need something they can latch on to. And the simplicity of the book was just saying, look, we spoke to a lot of customers and we asked them what was important to them, and it was some really surprising things, and here you go, and here's the template. So I think it's been incredible, the response we've received, actually.
It's a fabulous book. I mean, I've been in sales, not in your capability or capacity type thing, but for many years, I guess, we're all in small business, you're in sales.
Oh, absolutely.
We're all in sales one way or another, is what we talk about.
Yep.
And I found that the way that you write and the perspective that you bring to the sales side of things is very refreshing. It's not the a lot of times it almost dehumanizes the customer, is what I find in the sales process. They're treated like a lump of meat over there, whereas I find that you are about being respectful of customers. You're about, it is about the relationship. It's
100%.
about, all of those kind of things, which to me is the basis of successful sales.
Well, it's really, really simple. We need to put the customer back at the heart of everything we do. There's a lovely quote from Jeff Bezos from Amazon where he talks about the fact that in every meeting room he's in, he leaves a chair free, and that chair represents the customer because they want the customer to be part. And
that is such a wonderful,
isn't it? But again, such a simple concept. Once we put the customer at the heart of everything we do, the noise goes away and it actually gets really simple. And so all I do is go out and talk to customers and say, would you mind telling us, would you mind sharing? And they're so ready to share, they're so happy to share, they're delighted to be asked.
Something that I've done over the years with clients of mine is I've asked them to bring in a customer and talk to their stuff. A really happy customer, come and talk to our staff about what you like, what you don't like, and then bring in an unhappy customer.
Absolutely.
And sit down, because we rave on, and they start going, yeah, it's the boss raving on.
Yeah.
You got an unhappy customer who's had a really bad experience. I did that at the Hilton in Sydney.
Yeah.
They asked me to do, and it was amazing because they had a bad experience. But I was a fan, had a bad experience, and spoke to their team. And that's a really mature thing to do, and most businesses are not that mature.
Well, you've picked exactly the right word, because when we engage with new clients, that's the first conversation. Have you got an appetite to hear some unpleasant things?
Yeah.
Are you prepared to do this without throwing someone under the bus or without pointing the finger of blame? Because if you have, then we're up for it. But if you haven't, there's no point doing it, because your staff aren't going to respond, your customers aren't going to respond. So you have to take a long-term view and say, if we've dropped the ball, let's put our hand up and let's call it out, but let's make sure we never drop the ball in that way for that reason again.
Mate, always great to talk to you, Kean. Thank you very much. Rebirth of the Salesman, you get it from Amazon, go into bookshops. Check out Kean's website, which is www.trinityperspectives, that's TRINITY, perspectives.com.au. Do a Google search, you'll find. I won't even spell your name, Kean. It's easy enough to track him down. As I say, I'm so impressed with the work you do, so impressed with your book. Another book in the pipeline?
Yeah, another book in the pipeline, which is one of the reasons for being here. So, working title, The Decision Conundrum, why we buy with our hearts but sell with our heads.
I love it. All right, thanks, mate. Great to chat to you. Thanks for coming along. And check out Kean. He is an absolute leader in the sales space. Thank you.